Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, which is a Tier 10 German tech tree light tank that is going to be added into the game, probably within the next, I would say, 4 months. It's always hard to tell exactly when the planned date of release for a new vehicle is. But what we are going to be talking about today is the tank, its overall capabilities, how I feel it currently is on its balance, and if I think it needs any changes. Let's start off with the overall look. This is very clearly a similar design to that of an RU-251. And just like the RU-251, it does not feature much armor. Its upper plate is 86 mils effective, which means that if you load high explosive, well, it's only about 90. So basically, any 150 millimeter plus tank destroyers are going to be able to high explosive pen you frontally. The lower plate's only 67, and the turret is not that much better at about 113. The sides are 45, and the rear of this vehicle is 27. So essentially, this is going to be a really weak tank when it comes to high explosive, and you're going to pen it at basically any angle. Even if you try side scraping, good luck. This tank does not have good armor, you're not going to get bounces. So it's an RU-251 in Tier 10. However, let's take a look at the other characteristics the vehicle has. First of all, we are going to fully equip this tank like I would so we can get a full idea of what exactly we're working with here. So we have 2,900 effective DPM, making this actually one of the lowest effective DPM light tanks, only above the Sheridan. The Vickers lights, the WZ-132-1, and the Balschatillon 25 ton all feature over 3,000 effective damage per minute with their high DPM. So this is going to be the lowest DPM single shot light tank. But it has a lot of capabilities, and take a look at them. You have improved engine power boost, you have reticle calibration, reactive armor, yes, you heard that right, you have tungsten rounds, and yeah, that is just the special consumables alone. So personally, I'd probably be running tungsten and adrenaline. Those are going to be your two best options, giving you an additional 600 damage per minute. We can see that, I mean, these are big buffs, giving you, actually it's more than 600 DPM. Tungsten gives you alone a 514 DPM buff, and adrenaline gives you another 573. So with these two activated, you're actually sitting at around 4,000 effective DPM, which is kind of wild. But here's some other interesting facts. The vehicle has sandbags. Yes, you heard that right. So if you take off improved fuel, you can run enhanced sandbags, which will give you an extra 100 health. In fact, if you're running both sandbags and you take off one of the small chocolates, you can have 1,900 hit points on a light tank. Now, what do I feel about that? I'm not exactly sure, but you can do it if you really, really wanted to, which is a little interesting to say none the least. So as we'll notice, this vehicle has a bunch of special consumables and equipment. It kind of has the whole shebang. I think that running sandbags on a light tank is essentially useless. I mean, sure, you'll have 1,870 health, which will be more than any other light tank, but it's not going to mean much when you can be high explosive penned. And that's the exact same thing for reactive armor. Sure, you can run reactive on this tank, but does it really mean anything when high explosive is going to cut through the side of your vehicle with 40 millimeters of effective armor? No, it doesn't really mean anything, at least to me. I feel like running reactive on this vehicle would be a joke, so I wouldn't really recommend to do it. So that leaves us with the tank itself, its mobility, DPM, accuracy, and overall capabilities. Let's see what the Panzerwagen has going for it. DPM is solid. 3,000 is nothing crazy, but it's not bad either. It's going to have a quick reload of 6.76 seconds, and that's because it's going to feature a 330 damage per shot gun. The vehicle has 240 mils of standard APCR pen with pretty decent shell velocity at 1,200, and the heat has 900 meters a second with 328 millimeters of pen. The vehicle also has high explosive, which does 430 damage. That's a lot of alpha, and decent pen at 65 mils. So if you do get to the rear of enemy, E5s or a Patton, you might be able to get some decent high explosives out. Okay, well, dispersion is 0.269 when using refined, 0.317 base. Honestly, not that accurate. I was expecting this vehicle to be a little bit more accurate. Also, sorry, just gonna wipe my nose a teeny bit there. It's a little runny. But yeah, the accuracy of 0.317 base, not great. The AMX 30B, used to have 0.308 base dispersion. It got buffed, but I just don't understand why its base dispersion is pretty mid. It's almost the same as an STB1, which doesn't make sense. The on-move is pretty good, though, at least, so, you know, you're not going to have to worry about your on-move dispersion too much. Same for the turret traverse. The aftershot, it's bad, but who cares? It's a single shot, so shouldn't really matter all too much. Does feature 10 degrees of gun depression. As we can see, this vehicle has an oscillating, you know, kind of design here. You can see the way the breach pops out of the vehicle. It's actually kind of cool how it works, but yeah. So the vehicle does have 10 degrees. Not that it's going to matter. I mean, yes, 10 degrees is going to make it flexible. But in terms of armor, you're not going to be getting any bounces. Like, literally none, anywhere, whatsoever. This is 230 mils of pen. There's not a single spot where you're going to bounce this vehicle. Even tier 8s will probably cut through this thing quite reliably. Let's actually go down to, like, tier 7 and get out, I don't know, a T42. Yeah, 160 mils of pen, and this is what the T42 sees. So yeah, armor wise, the vehicle is it's just not going to do very well. You're not going to expect any bounces. Mobility, top speed of 69. Now you technically can run speed boost, but I don't see a reason to do this. So you can go 69 and reverse at 24 with a power to weight of 30. So it's got a really good power to weight, 32.9 on hard terrain, 25 on medium. So it's a very quick tank. It's got really good mobility overall. And its camo values are 36%. And to do a quick test, we go back to Tankopedia, and we'll make our way to a light tank. How about the T100LT, which has the best camo in tier 10? The T100LT is 42% camo. So it's obviously not as good as something like a T100LT on camo, but we can also take a look at something like the Sheridan, which is 31%. So it's basically the same camo as a Bosch Option 25 ton and a Vickers Light. Not great, but not bad. So, what are my personal feelings on the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen? Do I think it's a good take? Do I think it's a bad take? Well, to be entirely honest, I think it looks rather mediocre. I have heard from certain people that have tested it and are currently testing it that it's a fun take because it has a bunch of different consumables and capabilities, making it unique. But at the same time, I do feel like it looks rather mediocre. Now, there is one thing that I did leave out about the tank, which will make it sound a little bit better, and that is the fact that it features adaptive concealment and it also has tracer shells. Tracer shells alone allow you to spot your opponents for longer amounts of time. And when you pair that with adaptive concealment, it means that you're also going to get unspotted faster. And those two capabilities, paired with the extra hit points and the tungsten and the adrenaline and everything else, are going to make it a good vehicle. I think that right now it's a fairly well-balanced tank. I don't have any complaints about it. I don't think that it needs any changes. I think if Wargaming releases it the way it is right now, it will be a good tank, it will be really fun for skilled players, and it won't be bad to mess around with. Maybe buff its DPM to like 3,200, but apart from that, the rest of the tank seems really fine, and I have no complaints about it. Personally, I think for most players, at least in the current state though, I'd still go with a T100LT. Sure, the T100LT doesn't have adaptive concealment, but it doesn't really matter when you still have the tracer shells mechanic keeping your opponent spotted for 20 seconds at a time. Not only that, but the T100LT has better camo. It has a better effective power to weight on hard terrain and medium terrain with the same top speed essentially. The T100LT has better DPM by about 200, almost 300. The base dispersion is slightly worse, but because the on-move is so much better, it means that you'll still be quite a bit overall more effective on hitting your shots with the T100LT. So in general, I think the T100 is just a better shout currently, and especially when we take a look at the armor, T100LT actually has armor. Like the upper plate at this angle is an auto ricochet due to the way it's armored. So yeah, I think currently I'd still play a T100, but we'll have to see what Wargaming does. I think the take's balanced, and as I said, I'd be fine if they left it the way it is. So yeah, I have no complaints actually. I think it looks fun. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!